Hey, T-Sippers. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, T-Sippers. Hey, T-Sippers. Mm. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, T-Sippers, come on. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, T-Sippers. Come on, come on. Yeah. Hey, hey, hey. Sorry I am late. I want to double check on something. I'm just the way they playing in our face. This whole, the whole time. Hey. Hey, Mrs. Tom. Hey, Elizabeth. Y'all see this right here? You know, last night I was up late. I'm sorry. I was up to the wee hours in the morning. I am moving slow motion. I was on a platform that was talking about Mo3 going in deep. Yellow Beezy, the rapper out of Dallas, who's going to go to court in a few months on capital murder of another rapper on the freeway. So one of the shooters was on somebody else's platform yesterday. We was listening to the recording. And you know, it's just funny how things still to this day, 5 years later, all still rolling in. Hey, Cisco, full circle. But anyway, that's why I was up all night. And as I was looking through, you know, my little normal places I go to tap into what's going on, one of the guys was talking, and he made mention of Bibi Netanyahu and his kinfolk. And that his kinfolk is who Trump stole from our farmers, our cattlemen. You know, what he promised. I promise I'm going to help the farmers. Beef. Where's the beef? Where's the beef? Y'all remember that slogan? Where's the beef? They was having that. I was right. Okay. Mad cows, disease stuff going on. That big old ordeal, and they was trying to get people to come back and start back eating beef. We so green about some things, y'all. I'ma honestly be able to say we kind of green. Auntie P, you gonna call us? Yeah, we kind of green, baby. Cause they be doing stuff right in our face. But anyway, and the guy brought up, and I could go back and show you. But he brought up Bibi Netanyahu, who, you know, really is Benjamin Bibi Mileikowsky. And that Argentina president that Trump, I think, was supposed to give 20 mil into, what is that, Affordable Care Act, you know, that he had promised to our farmers and cattle, you know, lied to them. I will die for you. Turn right around in their face. See, this is what happens when you vote for the devil for greed. Devil flipped the script on you. See, they didn't care about no one else. They didn't care about the middle and the poor. They just cared about them, and that what he said he was going to do was going to benefit them. Oh, baby, that was a good pop, wasn't it? I ain't going to be able to do it again. But anyway, they ain't care two shits, two nickels. They ain't give a damn I tried to swerve it, about nobody else but them. So when I was there, when people were saying, "Oh well, yeah, I don't care. I'm in the tax bracket." Da, da, da. Okay, but what about your grandmama then? What about your kids? What about, what are you just really looking at what it can do for you right now, today, knowing good and dang well that at any time God can flip it upside down. Hey, Lawrence. Hey, Lawrence. Shout out to Lawrence. He's from the Mo 3 sector. Hey, Lawrence. I got to give my love to my Mo 3 sector when they journey over here to the Tea Palace. I greatly appreciate you coming. Good to see you. So, but this is why we got to care all the way around. We can't just care about what benefits us. Because at any time, God can turn it around. And it can work in your favor. I almost gave y'all the song. Late in the midnight hour, God's going to turn it around. It's going to work in your favor. But what if it don't? Should not your heart still be the same? We should care overall about one another. Because if God bless you with wealth, he can take your wealth and give it to someone else. Right? But anyway, so I ain't going to go too hard on the cattlemen and the farmers. It was being prejudiced to some degree anyway. Okay? But what he did was what he was promising to do for you in the U.S. of A. He turned around and gave it to Argentina. It's like, what? Argentina? Where they come from? What have Argentina done for us lately? You know what? What we doing? Not knowing that, Trump to the dump had invested in beef over in Argentina. He's vested. He's invested over there. But baby, hold your wig, ladies and gentlemen. Hold your wig, ladies and gentlemen. That may be some of the case. But the truth to the matter is that Javier right here shortened his name. Now, we all know that them gypsies would change their name in a minute, won't they? All them immigrants, baby, they will change their name on you in a minute. They will learn a foreign tongue. They will start speaking in tongue. That's why I always kind of giggled at Bibi Netanyahu, because his tongue was too thick. I mean, I know some people may not would have understood what I was saying when I would say he was heavy-tongued. Some folk maybe said, "Oh, that mean he could kiss, girl." No. Yeah, please hit the like button. Cause I really didn't want to come. I ain't gonna even lie to you. God said, "Tell the truth, shame the devil." I really didn't, cause I didn't want to have to be arguing. Not arguing, you know what I mean. Keep speaking about hitting the like button, support the platform. I appreciate the facts. Whether you understand them today, you will understand it better by and by. Maybe some of them old songs, you just really didn't understand what was being said. You just be singing as a kid. Father, allow we know all about it. Just singing. Father, allow we understand why. Be like, what? Just sing, girl. Just sing the song. What we saying? Just sing. Cheer up, my brother. Live in the sunshine. We'll understand it by and by. You understand it by and by. Just because you don't understand it, it may not make sense to you today, baby, but that dot will connect by and by. Some of that stuff Auntie Fee be saying, and you don't quite get it, because the full picture have not been presented. But baby, when it do, that light bulb come on and you be saying, oh, I got it. Oh, is that what she was talking about? That's what she was talking about. So hold your mute. Hold on. So I said, oh my God, he's shorting his name. Is this really Bibi Netanyahu, Benjamin Mileikowsky's kinfolk? So, you know, here go Auntie Fee. I'm looking all upside his head. Oh, so he done, so they just working us all the way around the fucking world. Forget in our face. They messing with us out. Baby, Brett, come on. I mean, why you moving by yourself now? Don't do that. Don't do that. Quit moving by yourself. Don't be moving by yourself up in here, up in here. I'll have to get another tablet. I'll be done put a bullet right there in the middle of that tablet. You keep moving by yourself. Hey, Joe. Hey, Mimi. So listen. So I said to myself, you lying to me. You lying to me. So they are really playing all up in our face. All the way around the world. So Trump is taking investments and deals, and Bibi Netanyahu say work with him. He's my cousin. He's my distant cousin. You know, people don't know. We don't want anybody to know. We put him in office. So you putting all these people in office in foreign countries. See, when Trump be talking about, I want to be a part of picking your new president. Lining it up. Thank you, Mrs. Tom. Lining it up. So this is allegedly Bibi Netanyahu's kinfolk. His daddy is his daddy, you know, uncle. He gonna tell you. So kind of just like with Erica Kirk, when you go to try to research it, you know, because he done changed his name. He done took off the, what is it? Nosky, a part of, of course, he wants to appoint leaders. Yeah. Yeah, he want to appoint it. The purpose is to take over, control, and dictate. So I said, okay, so M-I-L-E-I, what type of name is that? So just like they did Erica Kirk, where they kind of made it hard for you to find what was going on. She just kind of poof, you was gone for 7 years. You can't, ain't nothing connecting. Everything had been scrubbed to remove Romania. And how dare he? So then when I started trying to do my little research, you know, you have to ask these questions, because right off it said, oh, they're not related. One is from Russian descent, and one is from, Poland descent. Okay, come on now. They foreigners. They immigrants. They changed their name, They played around, so it looked like, the 12 tribes. Some went to the left, some went to the right, some went east, west, north, south, east to west, picked up and changed names. Okay? So I said, okay. So then I started digging into the daddy, the granddaddy. Who your peppy? And then, I went to start questioning, because there was a common name, Nathan. Nathan Mileikowsky. Even when you just put that how the Milei, if you dig for enough, it'll come to a Nathan Mileikowsky. So the common denominator, even though they have, when you Google, they have separated themselves. They really kinfolk. And Trump done gave Bibi Netanyahu, cousin on his daddy's side, way down there, our money. Remember, it was supposed to be 20 mil. He slapped the shit out of our Cowboys. Slapped them down, baby. Degraded the beef. Now all we hearing right now about the beef, right, is that it got human meat in it. It's not enough cattle, right, to feed, hell, not only the tables, but the fast food restaurants that's out there. So where the beef coming from in the U.S.? Now the same beef that's banned in several countries, right? Our beef, how it's processed, is banned in several countries. But he promised our cattlemen something that he gave to Argentina. And now we may know why. Bibi Netanyahu. $40 million, Trump says 40 million. Billion. I'm sorry. Oh, I need to take that M off and put B. 40 billion Trump is sending to Argentina will be enough to fund Affordable Care Act subsidies for 2 years in the U.S. Why would he invest that into Argentina? Can anybody tell me why? So we are thinking we done got really punked and pimped out by Trump. Hell, we done been punked and pimped out by Bibi Netanyahu. And we ain't getting a dime of it. I have to, let me take this M off and put a B. Bear with me, y'all. So I said, God dang, it just keep getting uglier. And the U.S. federal government is in the midst of a 3-week-long shutdown because Republicans won't extend the Affordable Care Act, but we are housing and feeding folk in a country. They got free medical, don't they? Health care. Never really could understand why other companies would ban a whole bunch of stuff in all these countries, and the U.S. refused to ban anything because those countries were about the people and the U.S. is not. Bottom line. But y'all, we getting played in our face. Straight up in our face by Trump and the former. Oh, what do we say when somebody is no longer with us? Bibi Netanyahu, because he is gone. And they still trying to play like he alive, him alive. No, baby, it don't matter to me how many lookalikes, clones, domes, none of that type of stuff. It's going to move me, lead me to believe him is still alive. And I don't know how I got the video of what they say when it all came crumbling down with him and that guy that they said he was the head of the Mossad. I got it. I don't know if I can play it though. No, he out of here. He out of here. And the blood shot out his mouth when when they had, I guess the explosion up above them, the Mossad guy. I don't, how the missiles and stuff, once they hit their target, they explode and other particles. I don't know, but yeah, I got it. I just don't know if I can play it. I just don't know if I can play it. But y'all know my girl over here, TikTok. Let's hear what she got to say. We need to, while I pull up the guy who informed us of what was really going on, let's hear what she got to say. Let's hear her. Because I haven't heard this, but she gets straight to the point and then laugh in their face. Gotta love her, because she gonna laugh in their face. And she gonna say, well, well, well. Well, well, well. Let's get our well moment where I can let y'all hear how Bibi Netanyahu not gonna sue you and his cousin on his daddy's side, who is the president of Argentina. Hey, Kane Life, thank you for the Sunday. Yeah. They kinfolk. He be making all them deals and thrills and stuff, and it's to benefit they new world order. Getting things in place for their future to dictate. Well, yeah, you don't have a future no more. You out of here. Ooh, you are out of here. I know. And they saying Trump getting tagged. They got all type of jokes. Folk driving by. Cartoon folk driving by. Drive-bys. And won't let him in. Please help me. Help. They laughing at him. While you thought, oh, Lord, what you got going on now?
Anybody out there a lip reader? Does anybody have the...
Is he going out? Oh, I had to reboot. Hold on. I had to reboot. I forgot. Yeah, I had to reboot now, child, because they be messing with my stuff. They don't want to move, and they start getting hot all of a sudden. And my phone like, Auntie Fee, now you too hot. I know you can be cute when you want to be. You can be cute when you want to be. You can go from this to that and just But baby, that phone says it's too hot. What you need our help for?
Is anybody out there a lip reader? Does anybody have the ability to read lips? Because number one, we need to know who is this short dude. I bet Truth Teller can tell us exactly who this man is, or Ian Malcolm. But we need to know who this man is, and then if anybody can tell us what is being said in this video, ooh boy, let's go. Let me know what you guys think.
Okay, you need to see this clip. This is Donald Trump at the...
Oh, that guy with that man talking to him.
And this guy shows up and completely steals the show.
Yeah, he got that picture.
And doesn't let go to show that he's
remember that?
in control of this situation.
He got a picture of Trump.
He says here completely
and
rattled the president. And
uncompromising.
suddenly, out of nowhere, he pulls a stack of pictures out of his pocket. He says a few words here, seemingly savoring this moment.
Y'all remember this? T.
Is wondering what the hell is going on.
He gonna try to grab it out old man's hand. Grab it.
Trump immediately
grab it. He can't even grab it.
Mystery Man and the Prince.
And then they go all laughing at him. I remember that. He had them pictures.
He puts what he has away in his pocket and then snatches the other stack of papers from his hands, but he just laughs it off because I'm pretty sure he has his own copies.
Blackmail.
Like
I remember that.
Scrambling to explain himself, but they're
we got
not buying it.
Yeah, I remember that.
Who this guy is, or if you know how to read lips,
he probably ain't. Yeah, look at it. They set his ass up. I remember that.
Tell us exactly who this man is.
That was before the Epstein files came out.
Who this man is, and then if anybody can tell
us. That was before them. Hey, Purple Flower.
Oh boy, let's go. Let me know.
That
what
was
you guys think.
before.
You
He
need to see
couldn't.
this clip.
That old
This is Donald
handicapped
Trump at the
hand
royal court
couldn't grab
shaking
it.
hands like usual.
Couldn't grab that
And
paperwork
this guy
out his
shows up
hand.
and completely steals the show. He grabs Trump's hand and doesn't let go to show
So
that
he
he is in complete
probably
control of this
did some
situation.
hanky
And as you can
panky.
see what he says here completely
Some hanky
rattles the
panky.
president. And then suddenly out of nowhere,
Turn
he
itself
pulls a
around.
deck of
That's
pictures
what
out of
it's
his
all
pocket.
about.
He says a few words here, seemingly savoring this moment.
I ain't
and
gonna be
everybody in
able.
the back is
I ain't gonna be able to read them lips. You put your left foot in, you take your left foot out, you put your right foot in, and you take it all about. Ooh, Lord. My elbow. I've been sitting on my elbow too much too long. Yeah, they finna work. Thank you. That first 30 minutes went quick, fast, and hurry. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. They finna get it. Oh, they so crazy. These people are funny. Look.
Siapa Tuhanmu?
Wait, what? They play too much. What? What?
Siapa Tuhanmu?
Comb your hair. Oh, look. Baby, I should have played that one on the next one that's coming with Charlie when I put the curse.
Siapa Tuhanmu?
Just shop at the Baduba. Oh. When I put the curse, the Zionist curse. Hey, these people is funny to me.
This is quite good, actually.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Y'all
This
look.
is quite good, actually. Very refreshing. I highly recommend it. This is quite good, actually.
I done seen
very refreshing.
5,
I
6,
highly
7,
recommend
8, 9, 10 people
This is quite good,
reenact
actually.
this way.
Do you want to mention it? He'll be proud. Go ahead. Tell him this, sir.
Okay, well, thank you, Mr. President. Congressman Neil Dunn of Florida had some real health challenges, and it was very serious, and had a pretty grim diagnosis. And I mentioned it to the president. I said, Congressman Dunn is a real champion and a patriot because he's still coming to work. And if others got this diagnosis...
Tell him this,
He
sir.
got jokes about somebody dying.
Thank you, Mr. President. Congressman Neil Dunn of Florida had some real health challenges, and it was very serious, and had a pretty grim diagnosis.
Just
and I mentioned it to the
trifling.
president, and I said, Congressman Dunn is a real champion and a patriot because he's still coming to work, and if others got this diagnosis, they would be apt to go home and retire.
What was the diagnosis?
It was, I think it was a terminal diagnosis.
He would be dead by June.
Okay, that wasn't public, but yeah, okay, that's, it was grim, that's what I was going to say.
Oh, when are you gonna die?
Do you want to mention
When are you gonna die?
Managing your business finances.
Let me get to the guy who made me realize that they playing in our face, or they was, until he had to go. Yeah. Stealing our money and passing it around. Passing the plate around. I know y'all done seen this. This has been all over the place. They laughing in his face. Oh, come on.
your boat gently down? Merrily, 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 merrily.
So that's why I'm on the nursery rhymes, because they've been rowing your boat. All day. Row your boat gently down. Come on. Oh my God. Let's go. Let's go.
Row your boat gently down. Merrily, 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 merrily.
Row your boat gently down the street. Row your boat gently down the street.
Everybody laughing at him. Let her go. Woo!
Why nobody helps me to open Hormuz?
They jammed me down the street. Yeah.
Row your boat gently down. Merrily, 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 merrily.
Psych. Psych.
Roll your butt gently down the street.
No.
Roll your butt gently down the street.
Let's go.
Come
Oh,
on, stop. I know how it feel to wake up, fucked up.
I like it when you call him Big Paul. Bam.
Why nobody helps me to open Hormuz?
You do it yourself. Hold on. Do it yourself. What you need help for? What you need help for?
Roll your butt
Hell to the no, no, no. Ouch. Let's hear her.
down the street.
Let me cut it down, y'all. Let me cut it down. Hit the like button, y'all. Let's go. Yeah, they laughing at you. Everybody turned you down. Yeah, just like when those little girls was saying, no, no. And you forced yourself on them anyway. Now, they say you deal with the lifestyle that you chose. You chose, like the little girls didn't have a choice to say no. We gonna say no to you and we gonna keep on going. Hell, you mean you don't run nothing? They said no. Yeah. Let's hear this. Your mad ass. Let's go.
Well, well, well. It's Wednesday, baby, and before we get to the tea today, I've got to clear something up expeditiously. Yes, indeed, because it's not going to be me that spreads fake news across the interwebs, okay? You see, yesterday I made a video about making Argentina great. Well, I had said that Dudu Netanyahu just so happens to be
Doodoo
cousin to
Netanyahu.
Javier. Well, well, well. It's Wednesday, baby, and before we get to the tea today, I've got to clear something up expeditiously. Yes, indeed, because it's not going to be me that spreads fake news across the interwebs, okay? You see, yesterday I made a video about making Argentina great. Well, I had said that Dudu Netanyahu just so happens to be
Dudu
cousins with
Netanyahu.
Javier Milei, the guy down there Argentina's way. Yes, honey. And some people in the comments section said this has already been proven to be fake news. It's
Yeah.
not true. Please do not spread misinformation.
They are
Well, I thought
related.
that was kind of strange because I read several articles that said that this was true. And then I went back to some of those articles to see. And one thing occurred to me. Most of the articles that said this was true were not from the US of A. They were from Argentina. Some of them were from Israel. Some of them came out of Algiers. Some of them came from Poland, which struck me as strange too. Why was
Russia.
this story
Russian
that was flying
descent.
underneath the radar all the way over in Poland? Very, very strange. I started digging, baby, and digging some more. I want to show you some screenshots, if that's okay, so we can try to work this out today.
Let's get in there.
This is from another international news source. I do believe this one actually came out of Argentina itself, dear, back in July. Now, as you can see, this is one of the places where this rumor started, baby. And according to Middle East specialists, their grandparents were cousins. Now, this is just a few screenshots from that particular article because they went on to talk about not just their relationship being distant cousins, but also how Javier Milei started to swing more Israel's way. They got into the discussion about their family names. This journalist was put on Front Street about this rumor in particular. He then confirmed
He cut off the
that he had actually done
Konoski,
a
whatever.
genealogy study of both families that confirmed
Look at that
Netanyahu
nose.
and Milei's grandparents were actually cousins. Yes. He claimed he actually has the genealogy records, and then things started to make sense to me as to why there would have been this story in Poland flying underneath the radar. You see, because, well, where do you think Dudu Netanyahu's family originated, baby? Poland. So then I started thinking, well, where did the rumor get started that this was fake news and not true? Who was the first to disprove this supposed rumor about these genealogical records that had been found? And you know what I found, baby? The first little inkling that this was not true, the first to step out and say this is fake news, they're not related
Trump.
in any kind of way, not even distantly with their grandfathers as being cousins, baby. Well, that was Grok. You know
okay.
Alonia Muskrat's AI? That's right. That's how the rumor got spread that this was fake news. That's where it started. Now, I'm not saying that they're cousins today, distantly in some kind of way, and I'm not saying that they're not distant cousins today.
Distant cousins.
But I know how Grok likes to play.
Yep.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. And I also know how closely Dudu is in bed with Alonia, and how closely Alonia is also in bed with Javier. I mean, they give each other presents, dear.
Yep.
I know how one day Grok will spill the beans, baby, on some truth in the Twitter streets. And I know the Red Hat crew and the Dudu Netanyahu crew will immediately start raising hell to Alonia.
And the diaper man.
Fix Grok. It's spreading liberal woke ideology. And the next thing you know, Grok's got an update and he's slinging slurs all over the Twitter streets. So I don't trust Grok in any kind of way, and I know how information gets spread across the globe on any kind of day. So at the end of the day, I'm just going to assume that they are long-lost distant cousins, dear, because really and truthfully, me and you are probably long-lost distant cousins back then.
Because y'all all come from us.
To me, whether or not they are long-lost cousins here, because I have watched these two develop a very tight relationship over the last 2 years.
Oh, yeah.
Very, very tight indeed.
They giving
As a matter of fact, Argentina is
pictures
so in
of
bed today
old
due to
folk.
Netanyahu that you'd barely be able to tell the two apart. And when it comes to photos of those two, well, there's only 2 other guys that I know of that have more photos together than Javier and Dudu. And you know exactly which are the 2 dudes who apparently aren't that close, but have hundreds of photos partying together for years. Right? So, I'm just going to say it with my full chest today. It doesn't fucking matter if they're related in any kind of way. It's clear to me that they consider each other to be very, very, very close brothers, honey. That's all that really matters here, dear. At the end of the day. But you can take the information how you want to. I don't think it really matters to anybody here whether or not they are cousins, dear. Or anybody.
Because, baby, let me tell you, when I started having problems and it would get close and then it would stop and, you know, like it just refused to say that this Nathan Mileikowsky is not the same Nathan, you know, his Nathan Mileikowsky roots is not the same as his. I started saying, okay, which one of these people was grabbed as a child and part of their history they trying not to connect. I don't know, but they got the same nose. And they got the same lips. One just got hair where we know that's probably a wig. And the other one don't. And I said, Auntie Fee, why you say? Because it is this hair that's hanging down here, right? You know, the way it's hanging, you know. It looked like he wanted to still be one of them damn Beatles or somebody. Like he's stuck. Like he's stuck in time. It's like, why he got this bangs all on his forehead, long hair, yeah. I don't know. I ain't know how to process that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it was the hair and the sideburns. Yeah. Hey, we the monkeys. People say we're monkeys, all right. You know. But anyway, I started feeling funny because it's like, why are you intentionally trying to say that they are not related with that last name, even though he cut off, majority of it. But carry on. Because they playing in our face. But it's going to work in our favor in the end. God go shut it down. He got killed in 1976. Who got killed in 1976? Who got killed in 1976, Melanie?
matters is that bad guys have gotten together and they're all holding each other's hands.
The
today,
bad
from
guys.
each other's lands and giving them out to one another. That,
Stealing
I
our
don't think it really
money.
matters to
Bottom
anybody.
line. I said, thank you, Mrs. Tom. I said all of that to say what I didn't know that she had said because I didn't look at it. I just saw it. Hi, Crystal. Not too long ago, is that he is stealing money as they are making money. He is stealing money and passing it out to people he make deals with. His big daddy, whoever big daddy tell him to give money to, and say it's for this, that, and the other. And old dumbass is doing it. But this guy right here is kinfolk to this guy right here. Now with these clones and dummies, they coming up with, hell, they'd have been better off giving us a clone of his kinfolk. At least he got his nose and his lips. His eyebrows, is longer than his, but hell, he still got them trademark ass bags up under his eyes. But carry on. Carry on.
And when it comes to photos of those two, well, there's only two other guys that I know of that have more photos together than Javier and Dudu. And you know exactly which are the two dudes who apparently aren't that close, but have hundreds of photos partying together for years. Right? So, I'm just going to say it with my full chest today. It doesn't fucking matter if they're related in any kind of way. It's clear to me that they consider each other to be very, very, very close brothers, honey. That's all that really matters here, dear. At the end of the day.
At the
You can
end
take
of the
the
day.
information how you want to. I don't think it really matters to anybody here whether or not they are cousins, dear. Or anybody across the globe. What matters is that bad guys have gotten together and they're all holding each other's hands today and taking monies from each other's lands and giving them out to one another. That's really all that matters, isn't it? All that really matters at the end of the day is that people here in America don't have access to health care, and the GOP is trying to take what access they have away. That our farmers can't afford to fucking eat because Daddy Dumpy Pants decided a tariff play. Which, by the way, sent all of China
Hey,
to
Naturally
Argentina.
Norlands.
You know, the one we supposedly just gave $20 billion to bail out their economy.
Then he said, well, I'll bless you with 20 more. Gave him 40.
To Argentina. You know, the one we supposedly just gave $20 billion to bail out their economy. Well, apparently, if Argentina really cared about making America great alongside of Argentina, then why did Argentina decide to start selling their soybeans to China while also...
He's the president of Argentina, who shortened his name from Mileikowsky to Milei. Yeah, that's him. He's a Mileikowsky. They are distant cousins. And your president up there, when he was supposed to give our cattlemen aid and assistance, breaks and stuff, he gave it to Bibi Netanyahu, Cuzn, them on his daddy's side. Yeah, just like he changed his name from Mileikowsky to Netanyahu to fit the land that he settled on. He changed his name to chime in on where he settled. And then they act like they don't know each other. And then they come together. And your partner up there, the orange man, gives him $40 billion. Yeah. And we can half-ass buy our groceries.
Time simultaneously taking out a handout from the US of A. That seems like a double dip to me.
What's the pay plan?
Daddy Dumpy Pants.
How he gonna pay it back?
The agricultural industry here in America, dear. claims he crashed it in Argentina and handed him $20 billion of American taxpayer money. And then Argentina doubles down and starts selling their soybeans to China, the business we lost. That's all that really matters to me, dear, is that I'm an American, and over here we are being played with.
Exactly.
Like toys for rich boys. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Right
I'm glad
before.
we cleared that up today. Now let me finish having my little cup of coffee, and we'll get to the tea expeditiously. And of course, like I said yesterday, we've got merch. It's on the way. I'll make videos.
So this is what I saw yesterday that made me even do a little investigation. Okay, this is what I saw. Do I got her too big? Can I bring her down? Let's go, baby girl. Oh, here goes the volume thing again. Hold on.
Philadelphia. And one of the reasons you probably won't be able to find his name is because his name was not Netanyahu.
Did you guys know that Netanyahu graduated from high school in Philadelphia?
Yeah.
Yeah, the T-Sippers knew that.
And one of the reasons you probably won't be able to
See,
find
T-Sippers, you see how far in advance y'all been knowing this type of stuff? And that these people just now, I see now, I'm going to have to slow y'all down. Y'all be knowing too much too early. And then when people come in here, they be acting all brand new, like they ain't never heard that before. Lies. That's a lie.
One of the reasons you
Y'all been knowing that.
probably won't be able to find
We went all up in
Did you guys know that
BB Netanyahu. He was in Philly, played soccer or polo or whatever that was. Lived in New York. He worked for them folk. He got a whole social security number, whole different American name. Yeah. He worked for one of them embassies. Multiple passports. One of them services. Yeah. When he was up in New York for a while. That's why when you go back in the day, he talked just as straight as he want to be. Just as straight English. You don't hear no dialect. You don't hear none of that heavy tongue stuff. None of that. And then now it's... But carry on.
Who graduated from high school in Philadelphia?
Yeah, he was born and raised in Philadelphia. And one of the reasons you probably won't be able to find his name is because his name was not Netanyahu when he lived in America. His name was Mileikowsky. His father's name is Benzion Mileikowsky.
Yep.
His father emigrated from Poland to America. His father's brother, blood brother, same mom, same dad, emigrated to Argentina. His father had Benjamin, and Benjamin changed his name from Mileikowsky to Benzion Mileikowsky. His father emigrated from Poland to America. His father's brother, blood brother, same mom, same dad, emigrated to Argentina. His father had Benjamin, and Benjamin changed his name from Mileikowsky to Netanyahu. His father's brother had a son named Javier. Javier changed his name from Javier Mileikowsky to Javier Milei. Benjamin Netanyahu is now the Prime Minister of Israel, while his cousin, his father's brother's son, is the President of Argentina.
Did you guys know that Netanyahu graduated from high
And I
school
said, what?
in Philadelphia?
Yeah.
Malay?
He was born and raised in Philadelphia. And one of the reasons you
Argentina, like $40 billion?
His name was not Netanyahu when he lived in America. His name was Mileikowsky. His father's name is Benzion Mileikowsky. His father emigrated from Poland to America.
I said, you...
His father's
What?
brother, blood brother, same mom, same dad, emigrated to Argentina. His father had Benjamin, and Benjamin changed his name from Mileikowsky to Netanyahu. His father's brother had a son named Javier. Javier changed his name from Javier Mileikowsky to Javier Milei.
Yeah, and that's why he gave him the money that he had promised to our cattlemen for beef. He reneged. So guess what Trump is invested in now? Not in the U.S. He don't hug with y'all. He don't hug with y'all. He don't hug with y'all. Because his plan ain't to be in the U.S. Remember, their plans, him and Bibi Netanyahu now, is to leave us a third world country. Swap it out. Yeah. That's the plan. And for us to be fighting amongst each other in different states like things were for them over there. Everything opposite of how God has it. They're going to undo it and do it their way. Because the devil is still at odds with God. So the two, they're not brothers, but the war between the two is the war between God and the devil. The devil's still trying to one up God. Still trying to get him back, for putting him out. And whatever you can do, I can do. Type shit. The devil ain't original. He can't come up with his own thing. He got to do everything opposite of Christ. Ain't that nothing? So that's how we got here. When old boy said what he said, and I said, oh man.
Now the Prime Minister of Israel, while his cousin, his father's brother's son, is the president of Argentina.
Did you guys know that Netanyahu
Yeah, baby, you just said, yeah,
graduated
baby. Yeah. What you say? You sip it tonight and trying to get some light to eat. We be sipping early, like 3 weeks before. Absolutely, boo-boo. That's been longer than 3 weeks, though. Y'all been knowing Bibi Netanyahu wasn't from Israel and was born in West Philadelphia, born and raised. The playground is where I spent most of my days, We done already been up and down, up in there, hating on your business. That was months ago. At least about 3. Yeah. And then something else popped off and got me off of it. Because after we found out that he was in Philly, at some point I dug all up in where his first wife, and somebody, Russian them, blackmailed him for cheating, scandalous, Yeah, we done been all up in there. When I found out he was in West Philadelphia and in New York. I think he went to NYC. Thank you for the lucky clover. Yeah. Yes, indeed. So all of that was a trick. They was playing in our face, giving that man our farmers. But they still tripping with me. With this tainted ass meat. I don't know why I'm surprised, because it's the devil. He has no care in the world. What is this? Israel war cabinet men met with our prime minister. Yeah, they need to stop with all of those memes like he's still alive. Hell, and why y'all having me? If he can walk around and shaking folk hand, with them old 2024 revised pictures and video, then hell, why he can't come out in the meetings? And nobody said nothing. I know they didn't. Y'all, I don't think I can show y'all. I need to figure out a way I can show y'all. What is it saying?
Something unusual is happening at the top of the Israeli government, and it is generating more questions than answers. Benjamin Netanyahu was absent from an emergency security cabinet.
Because he can't.
Well.
God
It's
said no.
Wednesday, baby. Before we get
What? God said no.
I'm delighted to welcome you, President Milei, and your delegation to Israel. You're a great friend of the Jewish state.
Them kinfolk, y'all.
I'm delighted to welcome you, President Milei, and your delegation to Israel. You're a great friend of the Jewish state.
He said, I ain't seen my cousin since we were separated long time ago. Y'all welcome Milei. He may. Yeah, they cool. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. I'm trying to get to where I was. Milei. They been playing in their face. And Trump got him a position. So what they gonna do now?
Mileikowsky's an uncommon name.
Yes, sir. They're related, you know. The same last name.
Mileikowsky's an uncommon name. I'm going to go on a limb and say that they're related.
It's crazy how they change their names, these people. Like, so many of them change their
And
names.
it just blown my mind that he's stealing.
Think about how many figures
You know,
of the
we
Bible
just
have their
think
names
it's
changed.
just Israel.
It's
You're
quite common.
stealing.
Yeah, in the Old Testament, a name change is quite common. Like the name Israel used to be Jacob. Jacob's name was changed by God to Israel. God also changed the name of Abraham. He changed it from Abram to Abraham, and he changed the name Sarai to Sarah.
What the
There's
Bible
other
says.
examples too. So name
The
changing
devil
is
who-
literally
the name is
biblical. It
Michael.
is something that they do
And he
for various purposes. But
Very odd and conceiving and cunning.
right, yeah. Fast forward,
Right,
it becomes
Krista.
a matter of survival, right? Because
The
they're always
Argentina guy, wasn't he like acting like he wasn't a Jew? As soon as he got into office, he went to the wall, he's crying, he joined the Javad.
Yeah,
It's like, what the
Trump did that too. He didn't want people to know. He was like that too. He didn't want people to know his roots. He didn't. He used to deny it.
fast forward, it becomes a matter of survival, right? Because
The
they're always
Argentina guy, wasn't he like acting like he wasn't a Jew? As soon as he got into office, he went to the wall, he's crying, he joined the Javad Lubavitch. It's like, what the hell?
Right.
And you get like Mexico, the most like Catholic
Hey, guys.
place ever, and then
Cat.
he becomes president, and a female.
makes no
they're
sense.
Also like,
After the bloodiest election season in Mexico's history, 37 candidates were killed in that election season, and another one was killed after it was over.
for Jewish women to be elected.
Yeah,
look
which makes no sense whatsoever.
Going in Ukraine, happens to also be a president of this small little, you know what he's saying.
Just so
By
happens.
themselves, it was pattern after pattern after pattern.
It's a very consistent pattern, yeah. And so, in a lot of that, it comes from, I think there is a very much of a sort of a mafia, an international mafia element. But this mafia didn't come from nowhere. It's not like in the early 1900s they said, hey, let's all get together and make a mafia. It comes from an ancient belief system. And there's a lot of malevolence in it.
And I've tracked, the mafia back into, the days of, Meyer Lansky and all that. A lot of people think the Italian mafia was the head mafia. It was actually, the Jewish mafia. And you can see how they infiltrated our government. So I've tracked all this back, but I haven't gone as deep as you have, going way back in history. See, that didn't come out of nowhere.
Right.
And Meyer Lansky allegedly had blackmail on J. Edgar Hoover. That's why he never went to jail when all the Italian mafia guys went to jail.
Right. Yeah, it's probably
they had
true.
the ADL. That was part of the mafia.
Yes, it was.
Kills a 13-year-old girl. They formed the ADL to protect them. So this all goes. You're seeing it goes deeper, all back in the Taliban. Because I was trying to make sense of it, and it doesn't quite make sense.
Yeah, there's a really, I'm not sure if you know this, there's a Jewish Masonic group called B'nai B'rith.
Yeah.
They're also very powerful and very influential. I don't think most people know that Sigmund Freud, the famous psychologist, who's basically the foundation of Western psychology, he was not just a Jew, he was a member of B'nai B'rith for over 30 years. And so there's a lot of very sort of strange incestual type of beliefs that are considered to be Freudian beliefs.
Yeah.
Like the Oedipus complex, which is
they want to have sex with their mother, just bizarre stuff like that.
Oh, that's Sigmund
The
Freud.
Rothschilds kept it in the family. Yeah, the nasty stuff. I'm telling y'all, some of the nastiest stuff, most vile shit. Some Rothschilds. They believed in keeping it in the family. So when I see that about Ivanka and her daddy, I'm like, okay. Uh, uh, Jared Kushner, he was compromised. Yeah, okay. Yeah, all is good. How about you, sir? Yeah. And then the Rothschilds. I've been meaning for us to sit down and go through that type stuff, but I got it part somewhere. But they are the Rothschilds. So, uncle, your child is your uncle baby or uncle sister. All that type of crazy shit.
Psychologist, who's basically the foundation of Western psychology. He was not just a Jew, he was a member of B'nai B'rith for over 30 years. And he had, so there's a lot of very sort of strange incestual type of beliefs that are considered to be Freudian beliefs.
Yeah.
You know, like the Oedipus complex, which is...
They want to have sex with their mother, just bizarre stuff like that.
Exactly. It's very bizarre. Like the idea that every young boy fantasizes about having sex with his mother and killing his father, which comes from an
Massive
Oedipus,
power
comes from the figure Oedipus, which is from Greek mythology.
Oh, wow. Hi, Gabrielle.
Where that entered the sort of, you know, the mindset of Western psychology was through Freud. Freud invented this complex, made it mainstream, and then
that's what Candace be talking
nature,
about.
He named it after a
Victor
Greek
Fraud.
myth, Oedipus. So he didn't say it was a Jewish thing. He basically said it was a Gentile
thing.
People
don't realize psychology is Jewish. And
psychology is very Jewish.
People, I think it's harmful for many people to sit there and just over talk about your problem. Maybe for some people it's good, but most people just go out and fucking get going with life.
Right. Something very interesting, since we're on this, it's a tangent, but it's interesting. Sigmund Freud, he was abused by his father in a sexual manner. And so was his brother. So was his brother.
Oh, wow.
And something that he discovered in his private practice, because later in life is when he started, you know, becoming an author and writing these books and becoming very influential. But he was a private practicing therapist for a number of years, a psychoanalyst, and he primarily served the Jewish community. Something that he discovered was how commonplace child abuse of a sexual nature was in the Jewish community. It was far more common.
It's very common in those.
It still is.
Yeah, I think it's very common.
It still is.
Very.
Oh, wow.
The majority of gay men were molested as children. You're not supposed to talk about that, but I think it actually makes you more sympathetic, not less sympathetic.
It's a form of trauma. I think it's trauma programming.
Yeah, exactly. You know, whatever the reason is, a lot of these people were molested, but you're not supposed to talk about that. You're supposed to be born this way, blah blah.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's differences with how you're born can make a difference, but like a large percentage of gay guys were molested.
It's from trauma. Yeah, a lot of it's from trauma. So that's a really interesting thing. And like, I think that's another thing, you know, a big part of my mission is to make Christians aware of how much, you know, the extent to which their religion has been infiltrated by this Jewish influence, which is a influence. But people who are non-religious, who just believe
absolutely intentionally compromise, alter. So it's like, what? Yes. How do we even know what part of the Bible was altered? Man, they stuck. It sounds to me right now they stuck on Revelation, but I don't know, man. I don't know.
Because psychology is considered a science, right?
Yeah.
And we take science very seriously, and we'll be like, oh, well, it's psychology. Oh, it's just human psychology. Oh, it says this, you know, 70% of people, you know. So we throw all these things around, but when you go back to the root of psychology, it's very Jewish. And a lot of the pathologies that the original psychoanalysts, because it wasn't just Freud. Freud had a whole group of psychoanalysts that basically were
mostly Jewish.
They were all Jews. In fact, it was about, I think it was a dozen people. They were all Jews. The only one who wasn't Jewish was famously brought in to basically be a figurehead, and that was Carl Jung. Carl Jung was
someone to be the face of it, so they see, oh, see, it's not
exactly. And so for the rest of, you know, the development of psychoanalysis as a field, there's kind of like the Freudian way and
Good
the
night.
Jungian way, and the Freudian way is more darker and more sort of like a little bit perverse, and then the Jungian way is a little bit more noble. it's basically not saying you have these fundamental, dark qualities that need to be addressed. You're saying the Jungian way, the Carl Jungian way, which is more of a Gentile way, is more saying we may have these dark impulses, but we can improve, we can get better, we can heal ourselves, we can raise ourselves.
We don't have to stay in this darkness.
Yeah, Freud was like, no, we're screwed. We're screwed from birth. We're just dark, and we're messed up people with these.
We clearly have flaws, but I think we can work to make ourselves a lot better.
Yeah,
that's and I think psychology or paying attention to human patterns is something that we should do. But I've never liked Freud's interpretation.
Yeah, there's a really good movie about that actually. I believe it's called A Dangerous Method, and it stars what's that guy's name? Michael I don't remember his name. It's called A Dangerous Method.
Dangerous it is. You cannot play with the devil. You just cannot play with the devil. Now we gotta stay woke and go back to saying the Epstein files, because they up here playing with this fake Bibi Netanyahu trying to throw us off. We can't go. Oh man, why do I keep doing this? Where's the volume? Yeah, hold on. I don't know why I won't let the volume come back. Hold on. Breaking news just in. A first time in history, an Iranian missile successfully struck the underground bunker. Oh, that was. No, they got him in the underground bunker. Oh. Let me get back, y'all. And I tell y'all, when I come over here, some of everything pops up. What's this one?
Yes.
You support another country's expansion over everything, no matter what? Aren't you supposed to be the president of the United States? Zionism is a political movement that says you must agree with everything Israel does.
Right there.
No matter what. I don't agree with everything the U.S. does, no matter what. Why should I agree?
So, the Zionists, because it's like, okay, so what is this?
Zionism is a political movement.
It's a political
that says you
movement.
must agree with everything Israel does, no matter what. I don't agree with everything the U.S. does, no matter what.
And so Tucker Carlson,
why should I agree with another?
They trying to get him with treason
Zionism
charges.
is a political movement.
As if he done something against the U.S. How are you gonna?
Zionism is a
How are you gonna hit Tucker Carlson with treason for a foreign country? But you ain't hit Trump with treason. He didn't speak against the U.S. He what? So the
Zionism is a political movement that says you must agree with everything Israel does, no matter what. I don't agree with everything the U.S. does, no matter what. Why should I agree with another government? If you're doing something wrong, I should be able to say so.
So the government of Israel, that's where they be hitting you with that anti-Semitic stuff. A Semite, and this is a political movement. And if you don't agree with everything I say, then that's a problem. Your ass is grass. Is that what you're telling us? And they going along with this foolishness as if it is a law of the U.S. land. Let's go.
Zionism is a political movement that says you must agree with everything Israel does, no matter what. I don't agree with everything the U.S. does, no matter what. Why should I agree with another government? If you're doing something wrong, I should be able to say so. That has nothing to do with Judaism. It has nothing to do with the rights of Jewish people. We're talking about a political movement that is bought much of the Congress of the United States, if not many of the presidents. We had Biden come out and say, I am a Zionist. You support another country's expansion over everything, no matter what? Aren't you supposed to be the president of the United States? Zionism is a political movement.
That's
says
heavy.
You must agree with
So
everything
you want
Israel
us to
does,
be
no matter what. I don't agree with everything the U.S. does, no matter what. Why should I agree with another
by
government?
this of a foreign
If you're doing
country's
something wrong, I should
rules
be
and
able to say so.
regulations.
That has nothing to do with Judaism. It has nothing to do with the rights of Jewish people. We're talking about a political movement that is bought much of the Congress of the United States, if not many of the presidents.
A political movement.
Come out and say, I'm a Zionist. You support another country's expansion.
And where's he at? Where's Biden? They say he gone. He long gone. Hold on, y'all. Let's. Oh, I had them together. Hold on. I don't like being played in our face. We got to know what's going on before us. Yeah, he done gave. Who gives a president? Who gives a prime minister a gift? It looked like of their forefathers. It looked like I found a picture of our granddaddy. I'ma give it to you, and he happy. Hold on.
That's it.
A picture of Pepe.
You know what he told me in this meeting? The first time I came to see him was
Why would he be giving him a picture? Look like they papa.
he said to me, you're going to the UN. You're going to the house of life, house of darkness. If you light a single candle, people will see this light, the truth from afar. So this is very dear to me.
Incest.
It has a lot of the records.
Don't they have a feel like he giving them a picture of they kinfolk? Telling y'all, these people playing in their
Iran
face.
does have a conventional military. They are a proud and they are a big country. Possible case scenario is Iran says, okay, you humiliated us, you killed all of our leaders. We're going to go make this a regional mess and try to get as many people involved as possible. They're going to go after Americans, they're going to go after Saudis, they're going to go after everybody imaginable just to create a big mess and to try to draw the world into it. Because understand, the Iranian people are widely respected and not necessarily are always in sync with leadership. But if and when the people of Iran feel like Persia is being...
Oh yeah, let me hear you, because I gotta get to where let me get over here and then I'm gonna get back over there. Where he talked about George Bush should be impeached.
This is the Explorer 5000 Plus. This is definitely going to be contender against the
George Bush should have been impeached.
Got an early look at a pre-production
For going to war
system.
on a lie.
I believe the idea of Mary stepping in as CEO could make
Oh,
sense
no.
from their perspective.
I
According
grabbed
to
the
those
wrong one.
discussions, if any of the Epstein-related claims people keep
Oh,
talking
Lord,
about were
stop.
ever proven true, it could seriously damage everything Erica has built publicly. Her leadership.
Donald Trump has had what I can only describe as a weird obsession with Bill Clinton as of late. And it's not an obsession with deflecting from his own Epstein scandal by talking about Bill Clinton and his relationship
He
with
had
Jeffrey
the
Epstein. But
pickle.
instead, it's about trying to like butter him up. I think Donald Trump believes
He missed that
he can't
pickle.
charm and fool people in the same way that he's been charmed and fooled by heaping praise on them and thinking it's all of a sudden going to change their mind
He
on
done
how they
bit.
feel about Donald Trump.
He done
And
bit
that
the
is what he
pickle.
attempted to
Hold
do
on.
with Bill Clinton today, and it immediately backfired as Bill Clinton went on the record, humiliated Trump, and opened him up for more criticism, not just about Epstein, but the war that Donald Trump has started, an illegal war with Iran. But it all begins with what Trump had to say about Clinton just a few weeks ago, before we get into the lie he was caught in today and how Clinton responded.
NBC News broke the story today. I don't know if you saw it, that the Democrats are already saying, if you bring President Bill Clinton and he has to testify, we're bringing President Trump. What do you say to that?
I think they might say that, but they've already brought me. See, I've been brought. They had me indicted many times. Many times.
And the president had some surprising thoughts about former President Bill Clinton.
It bothers me that somebody's going after Bill Clinton. See,
Yeah, because he used to
I
be
still
my
like Bill.
boo.
What do you like about him? I liked his behavior toward me. I thought he got me. He understood me. He was the one that said very famously that you don't want to run against Trump when there were 18 people. There was 18 people, including me, total. And he kept telling them, you don't want to run against Trump. Run against anyone. Don't run against Trump. And Hillary sort of laughed at him.
This was pretty funny to watch play out in the moment because, like I said starting this video, Donald Trump is dumb enough that he is very easily charmed, right? This is why dictators and authoritarians around the world love Donald Trump, and it's why business leaders have enjoyed so much corrupt success, I should say, exploiting this White House during Donald Trump's presidency, because they know they can just bring him a trophy or flatter him with a nice message, and Donald Trump is putty in their hands, which I guess is how he views a...
Yeah, I know.
Power immediately. And Trump is calling basically the memes are writing themselves. So I'm going to let Donald Trump explain to you why any president of the United States who gets the United States into a war under false pretenses, meaning they are lying to the American people about the reason they are getting into that war, that person should be impeached and removed from power immediately. And Trump is basically calling out everybody in the government and Congress who won't impeach a president for that. Absolutely should be held accountable. Check this video out. Let me know what you think.
She was going to really look to impeach Bush and get him out of office, which personally I think would have been a wonderful thing.
Impeaching him?
Absolutely, for the war. For the war.
Because of the conduct.
Well, he lied. He got us into the war with lies. And, I mean, look at the trouble Bill Clinton got into with something that was totally unimportant.
Sexual.
And they
So,
tried to impeach him, which
right
was
there,
nonsense. And yet
having,
Bush got into this horrible
hold
war with
on,
lies by lying
anything
about
with
weapons
sex,
of mass destruction.
Is a combination
get
of
out of the thing.
and attacks to try to get people
The
to
memes
bend
are writing
to his
themselves. So I'm going to let Donald Trump explain to you
Anything
why any
that
president
is
of the United
pertaining
States who gets the
to
United
sex,
States into a war
oh, it's
under
meaningless.
false pretenses, meaning they are lying to the American people about the reason they are getting into that war. That
But
person
lying
should be impeached
like he ain't
and
a
removed
light.
from power immediately. And Trump is basically calling out everybody in the government and Congress who won't impeach a president for that. Absolutely should be held accountable. Check this video out. Let me know what you think.
She was going to really look to impeach Bush and get him out of office, which personally I think would have been a wonderful thing.
Impeaching him?
Absolutely, for the war. For the war.
Because of the conduct.
Well, he lied. He got us into the war with lies. And, I mean, look at the trouble Bill Clinton got into with something that was totally unimportant. And they tried to impeach him, which was nonsense. And yet Bush got us into this horrible war with lies, by lying, by saying they had weapons of mass destruction, by saying all sorts of things.
Is he not talking about himself, y'all? Is he not talking about everything that he's doing? See, he's not original on anything either. Everything that he is doing, somebody else did in their administration. And he felt like they got away with it, he should be able to get away with it too. He's not doing it other than stealing. I mean, just, outright stealing, eating out of BB's ass and his cousin and his kinfolk, all of that. I mean, Lord. Such a hypocrite.
She was going to really look to impeach Bush and get him out of office, which personally I think would have been a wonderful thing.
Impeaching him?
Absolutely, for the war.
Absolutely.
Because of the conduct.
Well, he lied. He got us into the war with lies. And, I mean, look at the trouble Bill Clinton got into with something that was totally unimportant. And they tried to impeach him, which was nonsense. And yet Bush got us into this horrible war with lies, by lying, by saying they had weapons of mass destruction, by saying all sorts of things that turned out not to be true.
The memes are writing themselves, so I'm going to let Donald Trump explain.
They are.
Why any president of the United States, Iranian officials are saying.
Let's let him finish. Come on.
Is how he views other people. And for some, it's worked. Donald Trump uses a combination of flattery and attacks to try to get people to bend to his will. It's done wonders with him with the Republican Party, mainly because those people are spineless ladder climbers, and that's all that they care about. So maybe Trump, to them, offers up an opportunity. But Trump doing this with Clinton is really funny, because he tried to do it with Hillary Clinton as well, saying, oh, they shouldn't go after her. Oh, I like Hillary. Oh, she's kind of competent. But why would the smallest bit of kind of nice sentiment change decades and decades of angst? Well, I guess I should say a decade of angst between Trump and the Clintons. Like, it doesn't make a lot of sense. But on that, Donald Trump, I guess, is trying to further ingratiate himself with Bill, hoping he'll talk less about Epstein, or I don't know, I guess he just likes him now. And he alluded to that when asked a question about a ridiculous statement he made today about a former president.
I just want to ask you about something very interesting that you said twice today. That you talked to another former president about the Iran strikes. Was it George W. Bush?
No.
Was it Bill Clinton?
I don't want to say. I don't want to say. Because
Barack Obama.
a member of a party, and they have Trump derangement syndrome, but it's somebody that happens to like me, and I like that person who's a smart person.
So clearly Donald Trump is talking about Bill Clinton there. He's trying to say, well, Bill, maybe I'll do the voice. Quite frankly, somebody in the other side of the aisle, they really like me, and they just can't say it because they go to another school. Their love of my war, it goes to another school, so don't even ask me who it is. Oh, you're asking Bill Clinton? Well, I can't say that. Because he's asked about Bush, he's like, meh. And then he's asked about Clinton, he goes, well, I wouldn't tell you. So clearly Donald Trump wants us to believe that Bill Clinton was like, Donald, I just had to get you on the phone and tell you you're doing a great job. And that's what Trump is kind of positioning. Because there's not a fucking shot in hell. He, no matter how dumb Donald Trump is, thinks he can get us to believe that Barack Obama called him and said, just bang up job with this illegal war, Donald. So he's trying to suggest that Bill Clinton, out of the blue, called him and said, great job with your illegal war. That is...
Yeah. So I really wish I could show y'all how this is the video that's out that kind of shows what happened to Bibi Netanyahu. And I can't show, although that's blood coming out of his mouth. I know I can't. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out. Oh yeah, they banned the passports. Yeah, they banned Israel passports in several countries. But
आदमी देख सके वीडियो शेयर कर। अब तुमको सबूत मिला है हरामी का मौत देख करके ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा वीडियो शेयर करे बाजार में आदमी देख सके वीडियो शेयर कर। अब तुमको
Yeah.
सबूत मिला है हरामी का मौत देख
So that
करके ज़्यादा से
explosion,
ज़्यादा
it was
वीडियो
a
शेयर
big
करे
old
बाजार में
explosion.
आदमी
Hold
देख
on.
सके वीडियो शेयर कर। अब तुमको
See how I can do this. So they was there talking.
सबूत मिला है
Then there was an explosion.
हरामी का मौत
And then he hit. And something, I don't know if it's shot out. I don't know.
देख करके
Let's see. And see, he got stuff coming out his mouth. I don't know if y'all can see that, but yeah.
ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा
Yeah, he out of here, y'all. Him gone.
Broadly unpopular. Republicans, independents, Democrats. That's what Donald Trump had us
Him
believe. Had
gone,
us
y'all.
trying to believe that.
Are y'all still with me? Tea sippers, are you with me? Hit the like button, please. Yeah, he out of here. Can y'all hear me? Give me a 1. Give me a thumbs up. Give me something. Hit the like button. Y'all come on. Him gone. That wasn't fake. that right there. That right there. Nah, that wasn't fake. Okay, I must be stuck. Am I buffing? Hold on. No, that ain't fake. Hold on. Let me try to fix this. Y'all please hit the like button while I try to get this fixed. Playing in his face. Let me try to fix this, y'all.
भाई कितना तीखा है? बहुत तीखा है, पर स्वाद बढ़िया, स्वाद हुआ।
एक प्लेट दो, करी भी चाहिए।
ठीक है, बनाता हूँ। कितने का हुआ? सिर्फ 40 रुपए। अब अगला ऑफर पे। भाई कितना तीखा है? बहुत तीखा है, पर स्वाद बढ़िया, स्वाद हुआ।
एक प्लेट दो, करी भी चाहिए।
ठीक है, बनाता हूँ। कितने का हुआ? सिर्फ 40 रुपए। अब अगला ऑफर पे। भाई कितना तीखा है? बहुत तीखा है, पर स्वाद बढ़िया, स्वाद हुआ।
एक प्लेट दो, करी भी चाहिए।
ठीक है, बनाता हूँ। कितने का हुआ? सिर्फ 40 रुपए। अब अगला ऑफर पे।
भाई कितना तीखा है? बहुत तीखा है, पर स्वाद बढ़िया। स्वाद हुआ?
एक प्लेट दो, करी भी चाहिए।
ठीक है, बनाता हूँ। कितने का हुआ? 40 रुपए।
Sorry, guys. My dad will kill me again if I let you in.
Please, God. At least I didn't eat babies. I'm trying to say by that genocide. You heard me. Bibi has been a good boy.
Sorry, guys. You had been your chance. Michael will escort you up. Sorry, guys. My dad will kill me again if I let you in.
Please, God. At least I didn't eat babies. I'm trying to say by that, Mr. Genocide. You heard me. Bibi has been a good boy.
Sorry, guys. You had been your chance. Michael will escort you up. Sorry, guys. My dad will kill me again if I let you in.
Please, God.
They call themselves Netanyahu, but it's just a stolen, a Hebrew mask plastered over European exile's face. His real name was Mileikowsky, born of Ashkenazi lineage from Poland. Benjamin Netanyahu has neither the blood nor the land nor the language of those he claims to represent. His Judaism is not that of the shepherds of heaven. They call themselves Netanyahu, but it's just a stolen name, a Hebrew mask plastered over a European exile's face. His real name was Mileikowsky, born of Ashkenazi lineage from Poland. Benjamin Netanyahu has neither the blood nor the land nor the language of those he claims to represent. His Judaism is not that of the shepherds of Hebron nor the poets of Jaffa. It is the Judaism of a colonizer from elsewhere who put on the prophet's robe to hide the scent of ashes. Because what he represents today is not a people, it is a machine, a political, military, ideological machine, a machine of steel and contempt. Netanyahu didn't grow up on the banks of the Jordan. He grew up in the salons of New York's conservative elite and the ultra-nationalist sermons of his father, Ben Zion, the hardline Zionist historian. He never spoke Arabic. He never shared bread with a Palestinian. He never had to bury a child beneath the rubble of an Israeli airstrike.
Never.
He is not from this land.
Yeah, me too.
And yet he decides. He demolishes. He signs the orders.
He signs the U.S. orders. Hold on.
This. I mean, you can't pay most people enough to defend the murder of children. So I do
cost you. And I think he really respected me for that. And so at 21, I became this.
Carrie, thank you for doing this. I've been watching you on the internet. I've never met you, but I'm grateful for your honesty and your bravery. And the precision of what you say. You never, in the face of all this criticism, never got so mad that you revealed ugly sentiments, which I don't think you have. You just stuck right to the Christian case, so bless you for that. How did you get involved in the President's Religious Liberty Commission? What is it, and how did you become a member of it?
Very good question. So I was Miss California in 2009. Donald Trump owned the Miss USA organization. It was very controversial, but I dared to say on stage that I believe marriage is between one man and one woman.
Yes.
And I don't know if you remember that.
I do remember it, and they punished you for it.
Huge controversy. That was really before anybody was canceled. So I always tell people I was one of the first to be canceled.
The crazy thing is the majority of Californians agreed with you because they voted. They voted in a referendum pretty overwhelmingly. Yeah. Prop 8, which was then invalidated by a judge because democracy's fake. But exactly. you were saying what most of your fellow Californians believed.
100%, yeah. And I was just standing on my principles, which is what I'm doing now. So Donald Trump loved me. He said, Carrie, this is going to be the best thing that ever happened to you. I remember one day I was in his office, and he's like, Carrie, you have the it factor. And I'm like, what is that? I was 21 years old. I'm like, what does that mean? And he's like, you just have it. He's like, you dared to speak the truth knowing what it would cost you. And I think he really respected me for that. And so at 21, I became this, conservative darling, I guess you could say, and dared to stand up for my faith. And I doubled down. You know, they told me, go on Matt Lauer and apologize for what you said. You must apologize.
Did they really tell you that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the pageant people said, go on and apologize. And I turned my phone off. I went on Matt Lauer, and he's like, all right, Carrie, let's do a redo. How would you answer the question? I said, I have no regrets. I would literally...
You're getting a lecture on sexual ethics from Matt Lauer?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the irony of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I said I'd rather be biblically correct than politically correct. And from there, it was like, I mean, I was on every news station every day for the 4 months. It was nonstop. It was to the point of like harassment. Like my 90-year-old grandmother was being harassed. I mean, it was insane. But I stood firm and I did not waver.
And your position, just to restate all these years later, was...
That was my answer.
That's it.
I said, no offense to anyone out there. This is the way I was raised. This is what I believe. Marriage is between one man and one woman. And I got second place, and I got dragged through the mud. It was horrible. And the president loved me, and he said, Carrie, what do you want to do? He's like, do you want to be on Dancing with the Stars? Do you want to be on Fox News? I did like a little tryout on the morning show at Fox with Roger Ailes in New York. I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to wake up at 3 a.m.
No, you don't.
And I said, you know what, Mr. President? I said, all I want to do is get married, be a mom. I had met Kyle, and I just said, I just want to go on with my life. But I do want to write a book because nobody can take my story from me. And so he signed off on it. Thank God he did, because it was amazing that I was able to share my story. And I just kept in touch with him all these years. And so, you know, I would defend him when they were calling him a sexist, saying he was going backstage and looking at the girls and Miss USA and the, you know, changing rooms. And I would just constantly be like, nope, that's not the guy. Like, you're painting him as this sexist, misogynist, racist, you know, and he was being called every name in the book, you remember. And I just defended him, always, because I stand on truth. And then fast forward to this Religious Liberty Commission, and I got a call from the White House 2 days after I was confirmed as a Catholic. And we're calling on behalf of the president, and we want to invite you to be on this Religious Liberty Commission.
When was that?
It was April 20th, I want to say, 2025. And I wept. I was like, wow, this is incredible. I mean, almost 20 years later, after I took that stand, here I am now defending religious liberty. Because I ultimately lost the Miss USA or Miss California title because of my answer.
Yeah.
I will say that. They took it away from me.
I remember.
Yeah. And the president had my back, which was amazing. He said she just said nothing wrong. She stood on her principles. And I loved that about him.
Amen. I agree.
Because that was when it was unpopular to do that.
Yes.
You know, he risked a lot. I was standing there at Trump Tower with him, and it was amazing. I'll never forget that. And so we just stayed friends. I would call him while he's on the golf course and be like, hey, they're asking me to go on the gay pride parade. I don't want to do that. And he's like, I'll take care of it. Don't worry. And so...
The pageant people are trying to get you to march in the gay pride parade.
Yeah.
You know, folks, I've been watching what's unfolding in the Strait of Hormuz very carefully these last few days. And I want to talk to you about it. Not as a partisan, but as somebody who sat in that Oval Office and understands what it means when America's closest allies look at us and say, no. Now, let's set the scene for you. 20% of the world's oil flows through that strait. Right now, it's effectively shut down. Oil is sitting near $100 a barrel. Gas prices jumped almost 50 cents in a single week. American families are feeling this at the pump, at the grocery store, everywhere. And this weekend, the President of the United States publicly called on NATO allies, countries we've stood beside for 75 years, to send their warships into that strait. And one by one, Germany, France, Italy, Japan, Australia, they all said no. The UK said it won't be drawn into a wider war. Now that
right, naturally, Norland. I had to get her on now.
Really matters, and we'll come back to this in a moment. It's not just that they refused, it's why they refused. Because when you understand the why, you start to see something much bigger than a shipping lane. You start to see the architecture of American leadership, the thing my generation spent decades building under a kind of strain I never thought I'd witness. Let me tell you something. When a president starts a military operation without consulting the allies, tells them their help isn't needed, and then turns around 3 weeks later demanding they put their sailors in harm's way and threatens them when they hesitate, that's not alliance management. That's something else entirely. And this is where things start to get complicated, because this isn't really about the Strait of Hormuz. This is about whether the world still trusts America to lead. And right now, I'm genuinely concerned about the answer. Now, to understand where we are today, you've got to understand how we got here. And I want to walk you through this carefully because the sequence matters. On February 28th, the United States and Israel launched strikes against Iran. Within days, the stated goal expanded to regime change. Ayatollah Khamenei was killed. Over 1,300 Iranians have died. More than 3 million people have been displaced from their homes. Let that number settle in your mind. 3 million human beings uprooted in less than 3 weeks. Iran retaliated. They choked the Strait of Hormuz. They fired missiles and drones at Gulf states, at Israel, at Dubai's international airport. Just today, oil loading operations at Fujairah were suspended after a drone attack. This conflict is widening, not narrowing. And Israel announced it has operational plans for at least 3 more weeks of war. Now here's what I want you to hold on to. When I was president, before we acted in Kosovo, before we enforced no-fly zones over Iraq, we built coalitions. We picked up the phone. We sat in rooms with our allies, and we argued, we debated, we listened. Sometimes they told us things we didn't want to hear. But when we moved,
keep it real. Hit the like button, y'all.
Together. That's not what happened here.
Nope.
Germany's government spokesperson said something this morning that stopped me cold. He said, and I'm quoting,
I asked you to hit the like button.
the U.S. and Israel did not consult us before the war. And Washington explicitly stated at the start that European assistance was neither necessary nor desired. We've got to remember what that means. Our allies were told to stay out. They were told they weren't needed. And that right there is where the whole problem begins. Because you cannot tell your partners their voice doesn't matter and then act surprised when they won't follow you into the fire.
They're not needed. You thought you had it all under control with Bibi
That's not how
Netanyahu.
trust works. And every president who's ever managed a real coalition knows it. All right, let me walk you through exactly what happened this weekend, because the facts here speak louder than any commentary I could offer. On Saturday, President Trump posted on Truth Social calling on China, France, Japan, South Korea, the United Kingdom, and others to send warships to the Strait of Hormuz. On Sunday, aboard Air Force One, he went further. He said, and these are his words,
It's tough.
I'm demanding that these countries come in and protect their own territory. Then he added something that I think every diplomat in the world took note of. Whether we get support or not, I can say this, and I said it to them, we will remember.
Don't threaten
In
me.
his Financial Times interview, he warned that NATO faces a very bad future if allies don't comply. Now here's the response. Germany's defense minister, Boris Pistorius, said, "This is not our war. We didn't start it.
Right.
What does Donald Trump expect from a handful of European frigates that the mighty U.S. Navy cannot manage alone?" Italy's deputy prime minister said sending ships would mean entering the war.
Yep. He
France
know that.
said no. Australia said no.
He know that.
Japan
He need
said
help.
it may not even be legal under their constitution. Greece, Spain, New Zealand all declined. The EU voted against extending Operation Aspides to cover the strait. And here's the detail that should trouble every American. CNBC reported that our own Navy has been refusing near daily requests from the shipping industry to escort tankers through Hormuz because the risk is too high. Let me tell you something. Let that sink in.
Thank you.
We are asking
Say
our
no.
allies to send their frigates
Where we
and
won't
their
go.
sailors into waters where our own Navy says it's too dangerous to operate right now. That's not leadership. That's not even a reasonable
That's a
request.
suicide mission.
That is asking other nations to accept a risk that we ourselves are unwilling to take. And when you frame it that way, those refusals start looking less like betrayal and more like common sense.
Absolutely.
Now look,
Don't make me choke.
this is where I have to be direct, because this is the part that genuinely troubles me as someone who spent 8 years managing alliances. There is a basic principle in leadership, whether you're running a country, a business, or a little league team. You cannot cut people out of the decision, tell them you don't need them, and then show up at their door demanding help when things get hard.
No.
It just doesn't work that way. Human nature doesn't allow it. Think about it like this. Imagine you tear down your neighbor's fence without asking. Tell him it's none of his business. And then 3 weeks later, you knock on his door wanting to borrow his ladder because now your roof is leaking. How do you think that conversation goes? Edward Fishman at the Council on Foreign Relations made a point that deserves serious attention. He noted that these allies, the very countries being asked to send warships, have been hit with steep tariffs by this
Absolutely.
administration for over a year.
Illegally.
Their economies have been squeezed. Their leaders have been publicly criticized.
I
And
ain't
now
mad
they're
at 'em.
told to put their sailors in a war zone for a conflict they had no voice in starting. Fishman said something obvious but important. If the tables were turned, Trump himself would demand something in return. When I was
Absolutely.
in office, even when we had
And
real
he done gave it all to
disagreements
Bibi
with our allies,
Netanyahu.
and believe me, we had plenty, there was always the foundation: consultation, respect, the understanding that if you want somebody beside you in the hard moments, you've got to be beside them in the quiet ones. That foundation has been systematically dismantled, not by accident, by choice.
By Trump.
And here's the honest truth. You can't burn the bridge and then ask people to cross it. That's not how the world works. That's not how trust works. And the consequences of forgetting that lesson are now playing out for the whole world to see. Now I want to talk about something that goes deeper than this one crisis. Because what's happening right now has implications that will outlast any single presidency. NATO has survived for over 75 years. Think about that. Through the Cold War, through the fall of the Berlin Wall, through September 11th, through Afghanistan. It survived because it was built on a simple but powerful idea: collective security. An attack on one is an attack on all. But that principle only works when it rests on mutual consultation, shared decision-making, and reciprocal trust. You take those away, and the whole thing starts to hollow out. When a president publicly threatens that NATO faces a very bad future because allies won't join a war they were never consulted about, he's not strengthening the alliance. He's corroding the very mechanism that has kept the peace since 1949. And the damage doesn't show up overnight. It accumulates. It changes how governments calculate their interests. It makes leaders in Berlin and Tokyo and Canberra start asking a question they haven't seriously asked in decades. Does this alliance still serve us, or does it only serve Washington's impulses? And here's what worries me most. You know who's watching this with absolute delight? Moscow and Beijing. The Kremlin spokesperson said it out loud today. He said Europe now has complete dependence on the United States. Let's see what they like best. That is Russia openly celebrating the fracture of the Western alliance. That is exactly the outcome Vladimir Putin has spent 20 years working toward. We've got to remember, our adversaries don't need to defeat NATO militarily. They just need us to pull it apart from the inside. And right now, we are doing their work for them. Not because our allies are disloyal, but because we've given them every reason to question whether loyalty is a two-way street. That is the institutional damage I'm talking about, and it may take a generation to repair. All right, let's talk about the politics of this, because the consequences aren't just playing out in foreign capitals. They're landing right here at home, on kitchen tables across America. Brent crude is sitting at $105 a barrel. The national average for a gallon of gas hit $3.48, up almost 50 cents in 1 week. The International Energy Agency has agreed to release 400 million barrels from strategic reserve. Now, that's a measure you typically reserve for the most extreme global disruptions. That tells you how serious this is. And here's the irony that I cannot get past. The administration that built its entire brand around America First has created a situation where America is more isolated and more economically exposed than at any point since the Cold War. That's not a talking point.
I canceled all my food delivery subscriptions and upgraded to Cookunity, and it's totally transformed the way I eat because every meal is crafted by award-winning chefs from across the country. The variety is unlike anything I've ever seen, with over 100 menu options to choose from every week, so I can always find the exact global cuisines I'm craving.
Please hit the like button. Let's go.
That's just the math.
Thank you, the real Alicia, for the lucky clover.
When it's really there for China, he's revealing something fundamental about how he sees America's role. It's purely transactional. But let me tell you something. The reason America built the international order wasn't charity. It was strategy. We secured those shipping lanes because stable energy markets meant a stable global economy. and a stable global economy meant American prosperity. Every president from Truman to me to both Bushes understood that. Now look at the global chessboard. Iran is refusing a ceasefire, emboldened by allied disunity. Russia is leveraging the energy crisis against Europe. Asian and European nations are quietly accelerating
The Truth
plans
7340
to
we talking about
diversify
right
away
here and
from
right
American
now.
security
Stick with what we talking about now.
South Korea needs adequate time
He ain't been in
for
office in
deliberation.
years. Things have changed. Stop
Japan
trying to
is
compare
questioning
it
the
to
legal basis
exactly what it was when
entirely.
he was in office and when right
These aren't
now.
countries
Stick to
turning their
what we
backs on
talking
us.
about now.
These are countries recalculating whether America can still be counted on. And that recalculation, once it starts, is very difficult to reverse. Because when allies start building alternatives, they don't
Stand
come
on
back
principle,
just because
morals.
you ask nicely.
You people who want to
Now, let me
co-sign
tell you
and
something.
eat all off in Donald Trump's diaper, won't want to always compare. Stick to the choices that he has made and the troubles that we are in right now because of his choices. Y'all kill me moving the goalposts. No, but you can remember what you can't remember what you did. What is he doing right now? And if you can't stay out of a PD effort's diaper, then this may not be where you need to be. Let me help you out. The Truth 7340. No, he is the PD effort. Stop making excuses for him. Every time y'all make excuses, all I hear is y'all are okay knowing that he has raped and aped minors. It'd be different if he was doing something good. But all of this is because he does not want the full Epstein files put out, unredacted, to expose him, his former leader, which was Bibi Netanyahu, and their cult and their thievery. Now, I'm sick of it. Don't come over here with it. Take it somewhere else. Yeah, drop that mess somewhere else.
Sitting in the Oval Office is that you
And
don't
since
get
you
to feel
interrupted,
world
let me
as you
back it
wish
up.
were about how he sees America's
Something about
role.
his truth you didn't appreciate.
At $3.48, up almost 50 cents in 1 week. The International Energy Agency has agreed to release 400 million barrels from strategic reserves.
I got it set at 9:45,
Now, that's a
Mrs.
measure
Tom.
you typically reserve for the most extreme global disruptions. That tells you how serious this is. And here's the irony that I cannot get past. The administration that built its entire brand around America First has created a situation.
Yeah, he got the mashed
where
potatoes sitting on
America
his
is
on
more
his head.
isolated and more economically exposed than at any point since the Cold War. That's not a talking point. That's just the math. When the president asks, why are we maintaining Hormuz when it's really there for China, he's revealing something fundamental about how he sees America's role. It's purely transactional. But let me tell you something. The reason America built the international order wasn't charity. It was strategy. We secured those shipping lanes because stable energy markets meant a stable global economy. And a stable global economy meant American prosperity. Every president from Truman to me to both Bushes understood that. Now look at the global chessboard. Iran is refusing a ceasefire, emboldened by allied disunity. Russia is leveraging the energy crisis against Europe. Asian and European nations are quietly accelerating plans to diversify away from American security guarantees.
Oh, wow.
South
So they
Korea
working
needs
together and pulling
adequate
away
time
from
for
the,
deliberation.
oh,
Japan is questioning the legal basis entirely. These aren't countries turning their backs on us.
absolutely.
These are countries recalculating whether America can still be counted on. And that recalculation, once it starts, is very difficult to reverse.
Absolutely.
Because when allies start building alternatives, they don't come back just because you ask nicely. Now, let me tell you something. One of the hardest things about sitting in the Oval Office is that you don't get to deal with the world as you wish it were. You deal with it as it is.
Absolutely.
And right now, the world is presenting us with a set of possible futures. And I think every American deserves to hear them honestly. The first possibility,
honestly,
the one I hope for, is the diplomatic path. Just today, Kaja Kallas, the EU's High Representative for Foreign Affairs, said she's been talking with UN Secretary General Guterres about whether they could create something modeled on the Black Sea Initiative, the framework that kept Ukrainian grain flowing during that war. That's a serious idea. It's the kind of creative, multilateral solution that has actually worked before. If the EU and the UN can broker an arrangement that separates the question of the Strait in 1 week, the
hold on, let me
Brent
hear
crude
something.
is sitting at $105 a barrel. The national average for a gallon of gas hit $3.48, up almost 50 cents in 1 week. The International Energy Agency has agreed to release 400 million barrels from strategic reserves. Now, that's a measure you typically reserve for the most extreme global disruptions. That tells you how serious this is. And here's the irony that I cannot get past. The administration that built its entire brand around America First has created a situation where America is more isolated and more economically exposed than at any point since the Cold War. That's not a talking point. That's just the math. When the president asks, why are we maintaining Hormuz when it's really there for China, he's revealing something fundamental about how he sees America's role.
Mm-hmm.
It's purely transactional. But let me tell you something. The reason America built the international order wasn't charity. It was strategy. We secured those shipping lanes because stable energy markets meant a stable global economy. And a stable global economy meant American prosperity. Every president from Truman
Judy,
to me,
listen.
to both Bushes understood that. Now look at the global chessboard. Iran is refusing.
Judy, why you come over here with that? Give me a miner's name, Judy Whitaker. Everybody look at Judy with the big booty. Hey, Judy, give us a name of somebody a miner. Can you give us a name of a miner that we could research that said that he or she raped them when they was 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 years old? Judy? We'll wait. We need a name so we can research. I can pull it up right now. You timed her out. Naturally, Narlands. I was about to have some fun. I was about to eat. You ain't let me eat. Yeah, don't come in there. Yeah, give us a name.
The ceasefire emboldened
Are we
by
gonna put you to
Allied
shame?
disunity. Russia is leveraging the energy crisis against Europe. Asian and European nations are quietly accelerating plans to diversify away from American security guarees.
I ain't really say he ain't no
South
cheat.
Korea needs adequate time
But I need a
for
name.
deliberation. Japan is questioning the
I can tell you names of Trump.
These aren't countries turning their backs on us. These are countries
Oh.
recalculating whether America can still be counted on. And that recalculation,
This town, that's what I was in there trying to do a
is
minute ago, and then came back and saw her
to
in here.
reverse.
Y'all hit the like
Because
button.
when allies start building alternatives, they don't come back just because you ask nicely. Now, let me tell you something. One of the hardest things about sitting in the Oval Office is that you don't get to deal with the world as you wish it were. You deal with it as it is. And right now, the world is presenting
I was in there
us
trying
with
to.
a set of possible futures. And I think every American deserves to hear them honestly. The first possibility, the one I hope for, is the diplomatic path. Just today, Kaja Kallas, the EU's High Representative for Foreign Affairs, said she's been talking with UN Secretary General Guterres about whether they could create something modeled on the Black Sea Initiative, the framework that kept Ukrainian grain flowing during that war. That's a serious idea. It's the kind of creative, multilateral solution that has actually worked before. If the EU and the UN can broker an arrangement that separates the question of the Strait from the broader military conflict, even temporarily, that could give everyone breathing room. Oman and Egypt have been trying to mediate between Washington and Tehran, and Turkey and Pakistan have been pushing both sides toward the table. Now, so far, neither side has agreed to talks. Trump rejected the mediation efforts, and Iran says it won't negotiate until the strikes stop. But if that Black Sea-style framework gains traction, it could become the off-ramp this crisis desperately needs. The second possibility, and I'm afraid it's the most likely right now, is the grinding middle. The war continues for weeks. Israel has already said it has operational plans for at least 3 more weeks. Iran's new supreme leader, Mojtaba Khamenei, made his first public address on March 12th, vowing to keep the strait closed. Hormuz stays choked. Oil stays above $100. Oxford Economics said today that if it hits 140, the American economy effectively hits a standstill. Global GDP losses are already estimated between $330 billion if this ends soon, and over $2 trillion if it drags on. The IEA's emergency release of 400 million barrels buys time, but it doesn't solve the problem. And the political fallout, the fracturing of alliances, the trust deficit, the economic pain on American families, that reshapes the landscape for a generation. The third possibility is the one that keeps me up at night. Escalation beyond anyone's control. Today, Iranian drones hit Dubai International Airport, causing massive fires. They struck the Fujairah oil terminal, the UAE's only export route that bypasses Hormuz.
They got some defense.
For the second time in 2 days. Abu Dhabi's oil fields were attacked. 7 people have been killed in UAE strikes alone. The Revolutionary Guard has shown it can reach deep into Gulf infrastructure. If Iran continues striking civilian and commercial targets across the region, if the conflict draws in more Gulf states, if a miscalculation triggers a direct naval confrontation, this thing metastasizes in ways that nobody can predict and nobody can contain. Here's the honest truth.
Metastasize.
Without a credible diplomatic track, and I mean genuine multilateral diplomacy, not threats issued from Air Force One, the second and third scenarios become more likely with each passing day. Prime Minister Takaichi visits the White House Thursday. That meeting is a critical test. If the administration can shift from demanding compliance to actually listening, to treating allies as partners rather than subordinates, there may still be a window, but that window is closing fast. Now look, I want to close with something that goes beyond the politics and the strategy. Because at the end of the day, this is really about something deeper.
What is it about?
It's about the kind of country we want to be. I've been around long enough to know that American leadership at its best was never about forcing compliance. It was about inspiring cooperation. When we built NATO, when we wrote the Marshall Plan, when we stood up the international institutions that have kept the peace for 3/4 of a century, we didn't do it because we could bully the world into following us.
Hey, y'all, I got to get y'all to get the likes up. I need for y'all to hit the like button. Double tap the face of your screen. Hit the 3 dots at the top right. Come on, get the likes up.
Rather than subordinates, there may still be a window, but that window is closing fast. Now look, I want to close with something that goes beyond the politics and the strategy. Because at the end of the day, this is really about something deeper. It's about the kind of country we want to be. I've been around long enough to know that American leadership at its best
What are they waiting on to let Trump go? It's time for him to go. Epstein files need to be. I agree,
when we built NATO,
Jay.
When we wrote the Marshall Plan,
Ooh.
when we stood up the international institutions that have kept the
JG,
peace for 3/4
And
of a century. We
I
didn't do it
agree.
because we could bully the world into following us. We did it because we offered something better. A vision of shared security, shared prosperity, and shared responsibility.
Thank you, LG.
And the
G.
world followed because they trusted
Thank
us,
you.
not because they feared us.
Oh, it
Now,
definitely cannot be
I
trusted.
want to be fair about something. The security concern at the heart of this crisis is legitimate. The Strait of Hormuz must be reopened. Iran's chokehold on 20% of the world's oil is unacceptable. Every country that depends on that waterway, and that's most of the industrialized world, has a stake in resolving this. I'm not going to stand here and pretend otherwise, but here's what I've learned in a lifetime of public service. How you solve a problem matters just as much as whether you solve it, because the precedent you set determines what's possible
Hey,
next
Spartan.
time. If we establish that the way America builds coalitions is through threats and ultimatums, we will remember a very bad future. Then the next time we face a crisis, and there will be a next time, we'll find even fewer partners willing to stand with us. The currency of alliance is trust, and trust compounds over time. But so does mistrust. We've got to remember something. The democratic values we talk about, accountability, transparency, consultation, the rule of law, those aren't abstractions you put on a poster. They're the practical tools that built and sustain the most successful alliance system in human history. Every time we bypass consultation, every time we treat allies as employees rather than partners, every time we threaten the very institutions we created, we weaken ourselves, not our adversaries, ourselves. And here's what gives me hope, even now. America has corrected course before. We've had moments of overreach, moments of isolation, moments where our leadership fell short of our ideals. And every time, eventually, the American people demanded better. They demanded leaders who understood that our strength is multiplied,
Yes, indeed, he is,
not
Spartan Virus.
diminished,
Can you hit the
by
like
the
button for
trust
me,
of our
please?
partners. So wherever you stand
I
politically,
love when he speaks.
whatever party you belong to, this is a moment to pay attention. This is a moment to demand that our leaders remember that the alliances we built weren't charity. They were the architecture of American power. And that architecture depends on something no aircraft carrier can provide. The confidence of other nations that when America gives its word, it means something. That when America asks for help, it's because we've earned the right to ask, not because we've issued a threat. We can still get this right. The diplomatic channels are opening. Callas and Guterres are working on a framework. Oman and Egypt haven't given up. Japan's prime minister is coming to Washington. There are still people in this world who want to work with America.
Not
But
many.
it's going to take a kind of leadership we haven't been seeing. It's going to take humility. It's going to take listening. It's going to take the recognition that in a world that's complicated, no nation, not even the United States, can go it alone. The American people deserve better. And I still believe, I have to believe, that better is possible.
Okay, y'all, let's head over to the other live that's set at 9:45, and let's go ahead and pull up Candace. We're going from one to the other. Meet me at the live set at 9:45. Are y'all, can y'all hear me? Sure. We sure do. Yeah. Yeah. I'm heading up that way. It's still 203 people in here, but I'm about to end this, and I got another live set for 9:45, and it has Candace Owens. We're gonna take this over there. I'm trying to wait and see the people leave. I'll meet you there.